Thank you so much, everyone, and we're really excited to be here today talking about extreme weather, energy efficiency, and your small business. A little bit about background on Small Business Majority as we get started. Small Business Majority is a nonprofit small business advocacy organization. We're a national organization founded and run by small business owners, and we're focused on solving the biggest problems facing small businesses today. We represent the 28 million Americans who are self-employed or own businesses of up to 100 employees. Our organization uses scientific opinion and economic research to understand and represent the interests of small businesses. We are a team of 30 with offices in Washington, D.C. and 8 states. Right here in Missouri is where I'm located. We conduct on-the-ground business organizing in 22 states and have a small business owner network of 25,000 small business owners and more than 6,500 business organizations. We reach more than 300,000 small business owners through our Strategic Partner Program, which includes more than 100 business organizations nationwide. We also have an 18-member National Small Business Network Council. A quick overview, small business owners support the EPA action to limit carbon emissions that causes climate change and set standards for existing power plants, refineries, and other major emitters. Small business owners believe government can play an important role in creating financial incentives that help small businesses take energy efficiency measures, saving businesses money and reducing energy consumption. And also, a vast majority support the EPA's rules to reduce mercury and other toxic emissions that get into the air from power plants and support the EPA regulating carbon emissions from existing power plants that cause climate change. We're going to also go over why small businesses are vulnerable to extreme weather, again, a little more on what small business owners think, and some tips on being more energy efficient. The big picture, through the years 2011 and 2012, they were the most extreme years on record for destructive weather events, causing more than $170 billion in damage, much of that to businesses. 2012 was one of the 10 warmest years on record, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, reports heat waves like those we saw in 2012 now occur 4 times more often due to the effects of climate change. In addition to heat waves, the U.S. suffered from 25 extreme weather events in 2011 and 2012, causing untold damages to homes, roads, schools, and businesses. Research shows that small businesses are especially at risk from the effects of climate change and the extreme weather events it causes. In fact, an estimated 25% of small to mid-sized businesses do not reopen following a major disaster. When one considers that small businesses employ an estimated 60 million Americans, which is about half of all private sector employees, it becomes readily apparent why it is so crucial to educate entrepreneurs about their vulnerability to changing climate conditions and the role they can play in the national climate preparedness. And moving forward, thank you so much. Moving forward and looking more at the big picture, as a small business owner, you know that energy and utility costs are often a large part of small businesses' monthly operating costs. Often perceived as a fixed cost, many small businesses do not realize that there are simple ways to reduce this expense. To get started on saving money, we'll highlight 10 quick and easy energy-saving tips that can provide an immediate impact on your energy bill without a big time or money investment. We'll also provide you with a short overview of the Clean Air Act and the pending regulations, as a result of the 40-year-old law and how these regulations might impact your business. Lastly, I'd like to mention the Small Business Majority's Energy Resource Guide, which is available for download on the Small Business Majority website. The guide is a one-stop reference for detailed program information, links, and references highlighted during this presentation. So anytime you see a green leaf during the PowerPoint presentation, please know that there is additional information provided in the resource guide. One other thing we want to talk about is the 71% of small business owners who believe government investments in clean energy can boost our national economy and create jobs. That's from a 2012 study by Small Business Majority. So looking at the impacts of extreme weather, data shows 2011 and 2012 saw some of the most devastating losses from weather events on record. In 2011 alone, the U.S. suffered from a record 14 extreme weather events, each of which caused at least $1 billion in damages. This climate trend continued into 2012 with 11 weather events that also caused at least $1 billion each in losses, totaling more than $112 billion in damages. The most damaging event in 2012 was Superstorm Sandy, which cost the U.S. a staggering $65 billion and is estimated to be the second costliest national disaster on record. What's more, the storm combined with a year-long drought also accounted for 2/3 of all insurance losses worldwide in 2012. We've done polling, like I mentioned, on the impact of extreme weather on small businesses. 1 in 5 small business owners in Michigan, Virginia, and North Carolina have laid off employees due to weather events. Due to the devastating financial impact of extreme weather on their businesses, they've had to lay off employees. In Michigan, 17% had to lay off workers. In North Carolina, 21% had to let workers go. And in Virginia, 18% of owners were forced to cut jobs. More on our opinion polling, the vast majority of small business owners, they had been forced to close or suspend operations after a national disaster. A vast majority of our respondents report that they've had to close their businesses for up to a week after an extreme weather event, and some owners say they had to close for as long as 14 to 30 days. 44% of Michigan and North Carolina small employers and 59% of Virginia small businesses were forced to close for up to a week. Moving forward on why small business owners are so vulnerable, most small businesses have a single branch or location that makes them more vulnerable to loss than a larger business with backup resources at multiple facilities. As such, small businesses are more heavily impacted by power outages, the absence of employees, supply chain interruptions, rising insurance costs, and more. Because small businesses are uniquely threatened by extreme weather events, steps must be taken to ensure that they have the resources to survive catastrophes. An estimated 25% of small to mid-sized businesses do not open following a major disaster. Again, looking at other portions of why small businesses are extremely vulnerable, it's exacerbated by the fact that the majority of small businesses have not closely examined potential economic losses from climate-related risks, partly because they lack the time and resources to do so. In fact, 57% of small businesses have no disaster recovery plan, and for those small businesses that do have continuity or risk management plans, 90% spend less than 1 day a month preparing or maintaining them. So unless steps are taken to help small employers prepare for extreme weather events, small businesses will continue to suffer, and the economy will continue to see billions of dollars in damages as a result. Looking at extreme weather and strong energy standards, and how are they connected? Well, small business owners are voicing their support for clean energy standards because they believe this will help curb the effects of climate change and extreme weather, which have devastating impacts on their businesses and the economy. So as the nation's largest job creators, small businesses can contribute in a meaningful way to the advancement of our nation's clean energy economy. The majority of small business owners support renewable energy policies because they're not only good for the environment, but because they also make business sense. Small businesses are already instituting measures to reduce energy waste to help improve their bottom lines, but there is more that can be done to help entrepreneurs become energy efficient and support climate preparedness. Why are stronger standards more important? Because there are economic benefits, a competitive edge, excellence in innovation, and brand differentiation. And I apologize, I think there was an issue with the sound. Thank you all for using the chat box for me there. I was having technical difficulties on my end, and it appears on the audio end. So I apologize for you all folks. As we talked about earlier, this is recorded, so I appreciate your patience. We've been having a few technical difficulties with our system lately, so I really apologize for that. I'm going to continue moving forward from where we're at. We've been talking about clean energy standards, and we're about to get into the portion of the conversation about energy efficiency. So I appreciate your patience there, everyone, and we will move forward on that right now. Talking about clean energy standards, there are economic benefits. It helps with a competitive edge by addressing energy efficiency and opportunities to help small businesses become more competitive. There's excellence in innovation and brand differentiation. Adopting clean energy technologies can help improve community awareness of a business. Small businesses also demonstrate support for the EPA's authority to regulate carbon emissions and to set standards for existing power plants, refineries, and other major emitters. More than half, at 52%, support this approach, including 32% of respondents who strongly support it. Owners support the EPA enforcing these standards, despite 46% of small business owners saying this regulation will have a major or minor impact on their business. According to our polling, 76% of small business owners are in favor of requiring new power plants to reduce carbon emissions. And the small business majority's opinion polling shows that 87% of small business owners agree improving innovation and energy efficiency are good ways to increase prosperity for small businesses. 3/4 support the EPA's regulation of carbon emissions that cause climate change, and more than half of all small businesses support the EPA regulating carbon emissions from existing power plants. 76% are in favor of requiring new power plants to reduce carbon emissions. And then a vast 82% support the EPA rules to reduce mercury and other toxic emissions from new and existing power plants. Moving into energy efficiency, we're going to cover a quick few ways that you can be energy efficient now, and then talk a little more about programs. There are a few simple, low-cost steps for saving money. You see them right there: fans, 6872, 110 to 120, HVAC filters, and unplug. So the use of fans helps maintain a comfortable temperature, humidity, and air movement, and save on energy costs year-round. 6872 is a great rule of thumb for setting your thermostat plus or minus 1 degree. It can equal a 10% savings. Setting your water temperature only as hot as needed, between 110 and 120 degrees, can also help save on energy costs. Scheduling regular HVAC maintenance, changing out filters, can be a great way to reduce your costs, and unplugging your electronics when not in use. A few more ways: turning off your lights or other equipment when not in use, potentially installing motion sensors to really activate those lights when necessary. To maximize savings with laptops, cell phones, all of the different things we're plugging in lately, putting an AC adapter on a power strip that can be turned off. The transformer in the AC adapter draws power continuously, even when the laptop is not plugged into the adapter. So having that switch to turn that power strip off is a great way to just keep your power cords where you need them, but not be drawing extra energy when you don't need it. Switching to energy efficient light bulbs is a simple, easy way to save energy there. Checking regularly for water leaks and dripping faucets, and then installing a programmable thermostat to adjust those temperatures to be where you need them to be when you're home, and not expending extra energy when you're not in the house. A few more ways that we can talk about: clean energy programs. The federal government is not the only sector that cares about your bottom line as a small business. Each state offers programs to help lower your energy costs. So be sure to check with your state government for special programs and incentives. And then we also have that resource guide that I discussed at the beginning. Your utility companies also offer incentives such as electricity and water and recycling, and programs to help you lower your energy costs. Why do they do this? The more efficient they can operate, the more capacity they can incur and get a broader customer base from that. Even nonprofit organizations have programs to help your business become energy efficient. And lastly, there are venture capital programs that can help some entrepreneurs pursue new business opportunities, specifically in the clean energy field. One of the programs we want to highlight here is Energy Star. Energy Star helps small business owners cut energy costs while improving their facility's performance. So when a small business owner pays the electricity bill or the gas bill each month, they may not really know or think about the kilowatt hours or CERM. So whether you own your building or you're a tenant, you want lighting, heating, and air conditioning, power for office equipment, and other services at the lowest possible cost. So since the small business owner can't control energy prices or basic business energy needs, but they can control energy waste that has a cost and no value. So business people, because they're busy, they're pulled in a lot of different directions. They may not often have the time or the technical expertise to identify and implement cost-effective and energy-saving opportunities, which is where Energy Star comes in. So strategic energy management can cut your utility costs 25 to 30% without sacrificing service, quality, style, or comfort. It was started in 1992, and there are now 20,000 facilities carrying Energy Star certification. One of the great things about how Energy Star works is that it has a portfolio manager. So you create an account at energystar.gov, and as Angie mentioned, we'll have a copy of this for you. So these links will be available to you after the presentation. You can attend a free training. It's online, sort of signing up and learning about Portfolio Manager 101. And then there's a benchmark. So you enter a year of energy and water consumption and cost data, and that starts as your benchmark figure. So you're able to track your progress, continue to update consumption and cost data over time, and to track your energy performance. So you set energy management goals, and then you identify opportunities for savings and recognition. Finally, you can share your data with others, businesses of desired size or larger organizing bodies to share that information, put it out there. And then there also can be Energy Star certification. And as we talked earlier about maybe a branding opportunity for businesses to be green and use it as a way to draw attention to their business, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. So we want to talk a little bit about the Energy Policy Act of 2005. So what it was the first program in the energy efficient commercial buildings tax deduction. So it was created in 2005, and the act established a new deduction for small business owners who purchase energy efficient technologies. So the deduction is equal to $1.80 per square foot of energy efficient technologies, and examples of these technologies are lighting, ventilation, hot water systems. And then the new technology must reduce the building's total energy and power costs by 50% or more. In looking at the details of the Energy Policy Act, on average, small business owners have saved anywhere from 30 to 70% in energy costs by using this program. They've seen an 8 to 9% decrease in operation costs. They've witnessed a 2 to 16% increase in productivity. They've experienced an increase in value of their business by roughly 7.5%. And then overall, owners have reduced their liability and improved their risk management. There was also the Tax Relief and Job Creation Act of 2010. This is the second program. It's a modified accelerated cost recovery system. What does that mean? Small business owners may receive a reimbursement if they install clean energy technologies. So, for example, owners can install solar panels to convert solar energy into electricity. An applicant can receive a reimbursement for 100% of the technology installed. Clean energy technologies have been installed. Clean energy technologies must have been installed after September 8, 2010 and before January 1st, 2012. So if you fall in that window, you can still take a look at this. Any technology installed before September 8, 2010 or after January 1st, 2012 is still eligible for a rebate, but only at 50% instead of 100%. So just something to keep in mind when looking at when you installed your technology. How do you get this? Well, to apply, you would fill out Form 4562 and submit it with your small business tax return. And so some examples of eligible technologies are a variety of solar, electric, and solar thermal technologies, fuel cells and microturbines, geothermal electric, direct use geothermal and geothermal heat pumps, small wind, so 1,000 kilowatts or less, or combined heat and power. Over some of the analysis of the program, over a 6-week period, some businesses have saved up to $1,000 on their energy bills. Other businesses saved anywhere from $100 to $400 per month by installing solar panels. And then a major benefit of this program is that it not only allows your business to save money, but it also gives you opportunities to work with local companies and continues a buy local cycle. So looking forward at sort of what policymakers and lawmakers can do, so our research has shown that small business owners want to see Congress enact the Energy Savings and Industrial Competitive Act, which would promote energy conservation and cut energy waste. And so the SBA has actually assessed the effects of climate change on the small business community, or excuse me, the SBA, they want the SBA to assess the effects of climate change on the small business community so that there's more information about the effects of climate change and extreme weather on the small business community to better educate small employers and lawmakers about the issue. And also that Congress should pass the Sensible Accounting to Value Energy, so the SAVE Act. And it would instruct federal loan agencies to assess a borrower's expected energy costs when financing a house. This legislation would benefit the small business community and self-employed individuals who work from home by enabling better mortgage underwriting, reducing utility bills, providing affordable financing for home energy improvements, and driving business and job growth in the housing industry. A couple other things, looking at the STRONG Act, the Strengthening the Resiliency of Our Nation on the Ground Act. This legislation would build upon existing extreme weather resiliency efforts to provide state and local planners with the tools and information they need to develop and improve local weather resiliency efforts. And then also looking at the EPA, so allowing the EPA to continue to set carbon pollution standards for power plants through provisions of the Clean Air Act. So we've looked at this. Small business owners do support the EPA standards limiting carbon pollution from power plants, and they believe clean energy standards are good for their business and the economy. A financial incentive summary, a little bit, we've talked about it in more detail, but there's a database of nationwide state incentives. So it provides a snapshot of government, utility, and nonprofit financial incentives that promote renewables, energy efficiency. It allows viewers to quickly compare the number and types of incentives in each state. So you can see, again, that link there, and we'll have that for you. But it allows you to really take a look at whether you're in Missouri, Kansas, wherever you're at across the country, to take a look at what's going on in your state and a look at those financial incentives. One of the last things, as I mentioned, we have a resource guide. So our resource guide outlines the simple, low-cost tips to start saving money through energy efficiency. The SBA has a great resource that business continuity strategies through its Prepare My Business website. And then the SBA also provides disaster recovery assistance in the form of low-interest loans to businesses of all sizes. So there's a number of different resources you can look at through those ways, looking there. Finally, Angie had mentioned we'll give you a copy of this recording and the slides. We also have Emma Hollister as our network coordinator. She is our small business majority person based in DC who really works with our small business owners who want to share their stories, become involved, receive a monthly newsletter. If you want to work on letters to the editor or op-eds, you're not sure how to get your voice heard, but you want to make sure that your small business voice is out there. Emma is the woman that wonderfully works with our staff, manages our network council, and then she also organizes things like fly-ins. So if you want to get that information, E. Hollister. She's also on your RSVP as a confirmation to really help you get a copy of the slides. Moving forward, our Small Business Majority Resource and Clean Energy Guide, my name and information is right there. I really want to apologize for the technical difficulties, and we want to make sure that everybody does have a copy of this presentation. It was recorded. So we're going to go ahead and put that online for you. We'll get that to you in a couple days. I really appreciate your time. Any more questions you all have? I was taking a look at the chat box. It looks like you are all set. So I really appreciate that. Angie, thank you so much for your help. If you have any more information, I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to talk to the participants. And thank you so much, everybody. Angie?
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us, those of you who were able to. And as Mary indicated, we are going to send this information out to you, but it will take a couple of days to get the audio and the presentation to link up together. And so we're going to wait until then to send it to you. So we would really like for you to join us next week. Actually, we're skipping next week on June 18th. We've got top tax mistakes for businesses to avoid. And if you have any questions about, that's going to be presented by the IRS. And if you have any questions about how to connect to that webinar, please contact me, and you'll have my contact information when I send this out to you. That's all I have. Mary, thanks so much. Anybody have any questions for Mary?
Thanks, Angie. It looks like we've got all the questions in the chat box. Also, folks, if you have any follow-up questions, either for me or Angie, you have our contact information via the RSVP that you got, and you'll have it from the slides as Angie sends it out to you. So please feel free to reach out. I can connect you with her. Whoever you need to reach out to, we'll make sure that your information gets where it needs to and you get the answers that you deserve. So thank you all so much today. I really appreciate it. And thank you again to SBA and Veterans Business Resource Center for having us as a partner on this great webinar. Have a wonderful day, everyone.